$950 or $1,070. These could be the prices for the Steam machine. They may have been leaked on a Czech retailer's website. However, there's a lot going on here, and these prices might include regional taxes and import charges and kind of a bit on top that the retailer sticks on Valve products. And by the way, this is apparently an official Valve retailer in the region. So maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, credence to these prices, but we need to break this down. So let's take a look at this. Now, one of the issues with the Steam machine itself is I think people are seeing this as a replacement for a console. Now, that would be true if it was, I guess, firstly, massively more powerful than a console. This Steam machine actually isn't. In fact, a PS5 has more raw power on paper. But the difference here is this is a PC, so it's going to be a lot more sort of versatile. You'll be able to do a lot of different things with it, play a lot of different games on it and stuff like that. So you've kind of got that going for it. But the big kicker is it kind of needs to be priced around a PS5, right? It can't be twice as much or over $1,000 because that's going to be pushing it. Because why would you buy this over a PS5? And that's going to be a problem. So let's just break all of this down. It's really interesting. So yeah, the headline here is just like, look, Steam machine price may have just been leaked. Now, where is this coming from? Well, there's a lot going on. So this person over on Twitter says, firstly, I'm Czech, so I have verified that this is truly in the source code. Now they're talking about the source code of the website, the retailer in question. Secondly, the price, especially in the US, will be definitely lower due to import tax and retailer markup in the pricing. You can see they kind of got like a screenshot there of the source code of the website, and they're looking at the Valve Steam machine, the 2 terabyte version on smarty.cz. And then goes on to say, additionally, one of the largest retailers in Czech Republic, Alza, has similar pricing structure hidden in their code. So kind of giving you a bit more of a, you know, there's this standard price which is applied to items in this country because of their import retail tax and all of that stuff. So that's cool, right? But again, I do think the big issue with this is it needs to be in the ballpark figure of, I mean, $650 maybe for the sort of base version. Again, we're starting to get quite expensive. $700 maybe? Would you stomach $799? I don't know, maybe, right? Because it is a little mini PC, and you've got to remember, in this day and age, the prices of stuff is going through the roof. Memory is a disaster because AI is literally hoovering up absolutely everything. So that's just absolutely skyrocketing in terms of value. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think this is it's a little bit worrying for me because I was hoping this is going to be a bit cheaper just to cause a bit more mass adoption. But I do think we've also got to be realistic. The Steam machine itself is probably going to be a niche product anyway. So Clawsome Gamer puts this together in an awesome way. So let's break this down because this is a lot of the info here. So he says a Czech retailer, smarty.cz, has already put up a preliminary listing for the upcoming Valve Steam machine, the 512 gig. The product page doesn't display a public price yet, but checking the site's source code via browser developer tools reveals a hidden price in the page data. So the 512 gig model is 19,826 Czech. And that's approximately $950 US. That's pre-tax. And the 2 terabyte model is approximately $1,070 US pre-tax. This suggests at least one retailer has internal pricing ready, even though nothing is officially announced or visible to customers. Keep in mind, this is a third-party seller, so the official price directly from Valve or Steam could end up lower than resellers often include their own markup. Now, and he obviously links to a Reddit source from where I guess this originally came from. You can see the source code and then a picture of the website. But then goes on to say, update, Smarty reportedly has a 17% margin on average on the products it sells. That would put the pre-tax price of the Steam machine at $814 and $916, $916. Did I say that? I don't know whether I did. Respectively. But then also says still, it is unlikely that Smarty is aware of the official price. So these are probably just internal estimates. And then we get a second update that says Smarty appears to be an authorized seller for Valve products in the Czech Republic, which of course they are. Okay, so if we remove the 17% and we just take the prices at that, we're looking at $815 or thereabouts, or well, $814 for the base model or the 512 model. And for the 2 terabyte model, we're looking at $916. Now, there is a little bit of an issue with this because memory is very expensive. Storage memory, RAM is also very expensive as well. And like, that's basically maybe $120 difference or so. Or even, well, it's not even that, is it? It's 100. Yeah, it's like it's less than $100. No, it's $102, I should say, more. Now, that doesn't seem correct unless Valve are taking a hit on the memory or the price is already baked in if it ends up being that expensive. But remember, none of this is confirmed. It's just taken from a website that is an authorized reseller of Valve hardware, and potentially they have some sort of internal pricing that they've uploaded but kind of hidden it on their website because the products are not available to buy just yet, but have unfortunately put that in the sort of code getting ready to publish it for live. So what about the specs and performance? And this is where things start to become a bit of a hard sell. Now remember, specs and performance isn't the be-all and end-all of absolutely everything. You know, there's a lot of people, I mean, I've got the OG Steam Deck. I play loads of stuff on that, and that is actually comparatively quite weak when you look at other handheld devices out there. A lot of those are a lot more expensive, though. Or even look at things like the Switch, right? So it's not a very powerful device, even the new one. And a lot of people still play them, right? I know it's got obviously exclusive Nintendo games and all of that stuff. It's a bit of a, it's a crap comparison, I guess. But what I'm saying is, it's not so much that the actual raw power of the hardware matters, it's the experience. It's what is the software accessibility and availability, and how many different games can you play, and what's the connectivity like, and all of that, and how easy is it to use. Now, we know the Steam OS will be really easy to use because it's great on Steam Deck, it's going to be great on the Steam machine. The problem is, if it's $1,000 for the Steam machine, I don't think people who are looking at maybe taking their first steps into the PC sort of ecosystem would look at that and think, is this a good buy, or should I just buy a PS5? I don't know. Having said that, $1,000, even that for a small PC isn't too bad. I mean, I'm looking at, you can maybe see my PC, and I'm not even going to explain how much that was. It's disgusting, and literally I need to take a mortgage out to pay for these things, but it's like, the price can be prohibitive of getting into PC gaming, so I don't know, maybe even $1,000 is okay. I'm not sure. Obviously, when I think about some of the handheld devices, like the what is it, the Lenovo Legion and stuff like that, they're really expensive. Even the Microsoft Asus thing, that's like stupid prices. It's like, what is that? I think that's like 1,500 quid or something. So I don't know, maybe there is value. But anyway, what I want to do is talk about the specs, because the PS5 is actually faster than the Steam machine on paper. And is that a problem? So IGN have got this nice little comparison here, and they say specs and performance. We won't know how well the Steam machine truly runs until we've got it to put it through its paces, partly because of its custom chipset, but we sure can guess based on what Valve has revealed so far, as well as on our own time spent with the hardware. At roughly 6 inches cubed, things are cramped inside the Steam machine. Under its black plastic facade is a collection of good, but largely laptop-friendly components. And of course, that's going to be for the size factor, and also for heat and cost of running it, and I guess to keep the costs of production down as well, instead of just slamming desktop caliber hardware in. Or maybe you could even say some of the laptop hardware is more expensive because it's smaller or whatever. I don't know. But then goes on to say, the company has been careful not to frame it as a hot rod, making clear, for instance, that it will be relying on upscaling to hit its 4K resolution targets. As IGN has written before, the Steam machine's custom RDNA3 GPU is about on par with a mobile RX 7600 for the CPU Valve with a slightly older 6-core Zen 4 chip. You know what's even older, they say? The PS5's components, but age is just a number. And you'll find more compute in the PS5's 8-core Zen 2 CPU and in its RDNA 2 GPU than what the 5-year newer Steam machine offers. We'll see how the two stack up when Steam machine's GPU actually hits our test bench, but it would be surprising if it was an even match. So this becomes the issue, right? It's not as powerful. It won't be as powerful, but that does it really matter? That is the big question. So they say the numbers only tell a part of the story. Remember, the Steam machine is console-shaped, but as far as your game's concerned, it's just another gaming PC. Very little, if anything, that runs on it will have been created with specific hardware in mind. Meanwhile, PS5 game developers will have known exactly what hardware they're programming for, PS5 Pro notwithstanding. That doesn't mean that every PS5 game is perfectly optimized, but it does mean that a little more likely to have great-looking AA game or AAA game. AA, what the friggin' hell? AA, they come and get you when you break down on the road. What am I saying? AAA games, and even as it continues to age. If possible, the Steam machine sells well enough. It's possible that it sells well enough that some developers will start to make games with Valve's hardware in mind. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's not going to happen. They're not going to make it. I mean, there may be like you've got Steam Deck verified. There'll probably be like Steam Machine verified as well. But I don't think developers are going to be specifically targeting this hardware, because I don't think it's going to sell enough. Even if it was a good price, I don't think it's still going to sell enough to sort of make it a massive big hitter in the sort of gaming industry. But I wouldn't count on that happening frequently, if at all. Heck, even on the PS5, it can feel like developers got about 80% of the way there before studio executives called it good, released the game, and laid off the team that made it. Now, all of that said, games will Will games look bad on the Steam machine? Oh my, no. There's plenty of debate over just how well it'll perform. Just don't expect the games to be absolute cream of the crop. So the PS5 is technically faster. Yeah, so there we go. Steam Deck. I should say Steam machine, not Steam Deck. I mean, out of the most recent hardware that's been announced by Valve, I think the Steam Frame is the thing I'll be looking at. I'll probably get one of those. The Steam machine, it's not really something I don't think I could fit into my sort of daily life. I've got enough computers as it is, but I don't think it's aimed at me anyway. Or maybe it could be if I had another room and, I was looking to get gaming into that room on a dedicated machine, maybe on a small form factor. But then again, with a lot of streaming options, you would generally just stream to the screen on that room anyway. And so I don't know. But again, everyone's setup is different. I still think this Steam machine is aimed at people looking to get into PC gaming for the first time with something that's going to be capable of playing games in a decent kind of sort of spec band, let's say. So 30 FPS, decent graphics, 60 FPS, maybe lower graphics, and then using upscaling technology to try and make it, run faster, higher resolutions and stuff. I don't think you're going to be sitting there pumping out games at 4K thinking they look amazing on this thing, but they might look acceptable. Now, the problem is going to be the price. If the price isn't competitive enough with gaming consoles, then why would you not just buy a games console? And even like the IGN article said, games consoles are unified hardware. So that means developers can look at a PS5, they know what they're developing for, they know what the hardware constraints are, and they can work towards it. Whereas PC games, you've got literally a billion different configurations of hardware. So it can become very difficult to make things work. And of course, you can end up with things where NVIDIA GPUs run games faster than AMD GPUs because there's some sort of driver issue and it can work back and forth and all of that goes on. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below, though. I will be shocked if it's over $1,000. I think for me, it's probably going to be about $750, $799. I think that's probably what they're aiming for the, I guess, the cheaper model with only 512 gig storage. But what do you think? All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think about this video as well. If you enjoyed it, then, yep, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.